Namaste and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's special session, Plastic in Transition, showcasing impacts through innovation in South Asia, stories from Nepal. My name is Sanjeevani Yonzon, and I'm honored to be the moderator this afternoon. I serve as the director of Wildlife Conservation Nepal. It's a small NGO dedicated to nature conservation and advancing the circular mindset. And it's a true privilege for me to be here facilitating this very important conversation that is so close to our hearts and so crucial to our region's future. This event is a part of the broader PLEASE project, Plastic Free Rivers and Seas for South Asia initiative, which brings together change makers, innovators, community leaders working together to tackle plastic pollution through local solutions and circular approaches. The PLEASE project is being implemented by SAKIB, a South Asia Co-operative Environment Program, with the support from UNOPS and the World Bank. And today we shine the spotlight on Nepal, our home, and the inspiring efforts that are being led here to turn the tide on plastic waste. We are today joined by three remarkable panelists who each bring unique insights and action-oriented innovations to this discussion. First and foremost, we have Sujata Koirala ji. Sujata Koirala is the General Secretary of CREASION, a very dynamic person who has been at the forefront of the youth-led environmental advocacy and circular initiatives. CREASION runs the project CAP under the PLEASE initiative. Welcome, Sujata Koirala ji.
Thank you.
Yes, and secondly, we have Mr. Nirajan Ghimire. And he is Nirajan Ghimire. Mr. Ghimire is the plastic recycling specialist at Biocomp Nepal, who is also redefining plastic waste as a resource through sustainable recycling technologies. They have a project called River Plus, which is also a part of the PLEASE project in Nepal. Last but not the least, we have Mr. Pankaj Panjiyar, co-founder and CEO of Doko Recyclers. And as we all know, Doko Recyclers is a trailblazing enterprise here in Nepal, helping us rethink how we should manage waste in the country. So we have these amazing panelists lined up. They have these amazing projects running under the PLEASE project. And in this session, we will try and explore what it means to be part of the solution, and not just by imagining, a future, a far-off plastic-free future, but building it every day, brick by brick, through innovation, collaboration, and mostly impact. So I also encourage you, all of you who are already here, joining us for this webinar to participate. Please drop in your questions in the chat, share your reflections, and also join us in celebrating these amazing leadership stories of innovation and ingenuity. So without further ado, let's dive into the conversation. My first opening question is for all of you, and it is just to start off by asking you what it means for you and your organization to be part of the PLEASE initiative, and what has your project been doing to lead the way with innovation. From what I understand, it is a very intentionally innovation-driven initiative of PLEASE, and so I would love to hear what are you doing on the ground, whether through technology, community engagement, or systems change to address plastic waste in Nepal. So this is a general question for everybody, but I think let's start with the beautiful lady, Sujata ji. Please start please jump in and start your take.
Thank you, Sanjeevani ji, for the question. I think the question is very interesting. Like, what does PLEASE have to, do with all the interventions coming in, and especially regarding to the project cap. I think when we saw the call for proposal, I think 2 years back, regarding the plastic free rivers in South Asia, so I was really intrigued how a call was so innovative, and how what are the approaches that it was trying to garner upon, and on a regional level, how Nepal can be a very important player to play this important role. As a creation, we were already doing a lot of collection efforts. We were collecting more than 500 tons of plastic waste per month and sending it to recycling. But there were a lot of things that, while working, we came to know, like in terms of how the recycling should be done, how the collection system should be done, how a collaborative approach must be taken forward, to solve the plastic problem in Nepal. So when we saw the call, we're really happy. And previously we used to travel in highways, and we saw all the bottles being thrown out of the buses and going into the rivers, polluting it. And a sense of awareness was also not in the general public to look into that thing. So we thought about like a solution for it, and then we developed Project CAP. So Project CAP basically is project collaborative approach for preventing plastic leakages in rivers of Nepal. So when we thought about it, we thought that it should have a collaborative approach. The government people, the people in the ground level, the tribal communities who are associated with the river ecosystem needs to come together, and there needs to have a solution. There needs to have something in the ground, on infrastructure per se, which will tackle the problem they are facing at the moment. For instance, when we talk about the 7 types of waste, the PET waste has the highest number of generation. So we thought that we need some technology in terms of how we address the PET waste problem. Then we thought that we're going to establish a factory that is going to recycle all the PET waste. And we're able to do so in, I think, less than 10 months. We established our factory. And as a form of innovation, when we were dealing it in the ground, we felt that Nepal right now lacks the technology, then lacked the technology for recycling the green bottles. And for the first time in Nepal, we are recycling green bottles in our factory. So here is the product of ours. This is the PET strap. It is like first of a kind, that thing we are doing here in Nepal. So that was the most amazing innovation I got an opportunity to work with. And in terms of other innovations, we're also looking as reverse transportation thing from a different lens. Because what happens is, like, plastic generally has a very less weight. So when we need to transfer it from one place to another place, so basically we're paying for the air, because it has big volume. So even when we are bailing it, and we are not using the transportation when it goes back from one place to another place, so it is very cost intensive thing, and recycling as a whole is a very cost intensive thing. So we thought, like, during our business plan preparation also, what can we actually do to reduce the cost? So what we do, every truck that comes in our factory leaves with the raw material, sorry, the products, final products that has been produced by our factory. We ensure that it has been like readily tracked. Our team members look into that part. So such kind of innovation we brought into this project. And another part is, in terms of the school education and the waste, plastic waste education to the school children. So we've also tried to form waste smart clubs, who looks at the waste problem from a very different angle. We have all the green clubs, eco clubs with us, but a very specific club that looks into all the plastic waste generation pattern and raises awareness in terms of how we want to deal this, like, in coming future, be it from the reduction point of view or from the management point of view. So these were the innovation that we successfully did in our project, and we were really happy, because lots of ups and downs, but from that one call to, like, seeing it after 2 years with all the amazing things happening, I can only be happy and proud about it. Thank you so much, Sanjeevani.
Yes, it even makes me feel proud to learn about your achievements and the bold, very bold project of actually starting a factory for plastic recycling. It's amazing, and we wish you continued success, Sujata ji. Now let's go to Biocom. Nirajan ji, what do you have in your bag today?
Thank you, Sanjeevani, for moderating the session, and thank you, Please and Sakib, for organizing this webinar. So, I am Nirajan Ghimire, so I represent Biocomp. So, telling briefly about Biocomp. So, Biocomp has been into business from 2011. So, starting phase, we started with composting, and later at 2019. So, when we are uh, producing composting, we realized that there is a huge amount of plastic coming in into our facility. That is mainly packaging plastic, like noodles and biscuit wrapper. Then we started finding a solution for that, for multi-layer plastic, and then we came to a solution that composite board can be a, a better option for recycling multi-layer plastic, and then so we don't have capital for setting a good factory for that, and then to our surprise, so Please came with a very big grant to establish a factory, and then we applied for the project. We received the project, and that is a very good moment for us. Then so but the project is about so the project title is River Plus, and the project is led by Biocom Nepal along with its partner People in Need and Clean Up Nepal. So People in Need is INGO and Clean Up Nepal is an NGO. So People in Need and Clean Up Nepal is more focused on the software activities, and we Biocom is focused on hardware activities. So in the River Plus project, so we have mainly three dimensions. So first, we have an awareness component where we did multiple river cleanup campaigns. We our houses nearby river corridor of Bagmati and Vishnumati, and then we have zero waste at school program where we trained almost 3,000 students on zero waste. And then we have another component that is capacitating IWW. So we selected 500 informal waste workers from Kathmandu Valley. We provided them with PPEs, insurance support, uh, provided them occupational health and safety training, gender training, and a lot of other trainings as well. And then the third component is establishing a factory. So we established a 10-ton per day capacity factory at Simara, and we are lucky to get government lease land for establishing a factory, and then within like 6 to 7 months, the factory has been running out. We have been producing composite board, and that is a brief about the project.
Thank you. One just question just before you end is that the land that you're talking about is a municipal government's land or a federal or like a provincial land, and the plastic that gets recycled there, will it only come from that area, or will it be able to take plastics from other places also?
Yeah, so the government land is provided by Special Economic Zone Authority, that is led by central government. Uh,
Oh,
and
that's
so yeah, so it's around like 15 rupees of land. Uh, and so again, plastic, we have been sourcing plastic from multiple vendors, like including Doko from Kathmandu as well. And as there is a lot of industry in Tara area, so we also buy raw material from industry and local aggregator from there also.
amazing. So it's like so inspiring to hear what you are doing and what a project. Now we will jump to Pankaj ji. Pankaj ji, what is Doko doing? I'm really excited to know more. Like everything you do from the start of your establishment, I've been a big fan of your organization. I
Thank
would
you.
love to hear more
Thank you,
from you.
Sanjeevani.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjeevani, for questions, and Sakib and please for providing this platform to express ourselves. So, Doko Recyclers established back in 2017. Since establishment, we started looking for the dry waste fractions, and we collect. Our model includes like collecting from different households, industries, or any other clientele models where there is a generation of waste. We teach them to segregate at the source. So our motto remains at the segregation at source. so that they can at least segregate the waste at source from the first dry and wet, and then from the dry fraction, then you have to segregate more as a recyclable and non-recyclable fraction. So that's our mode of operation. We have our own collection vehicle fleets, and we have our 2 MRF right now after the Please project. So what has been done through the Please is like when we do this dry waste sorting and all those stuff, so we receive mainly two kinds of waste fractions. From offices, there is a paper, and from households and industries and somewhere there are the plastics. In out of the plastics, there are like mainly a good grade plastics, which are cherry picked. I mean, a high value plastic, which are being recycled easily or being somehow being transported into the ecosystem. But there are the plastic fractions which are being left around. Either it are not recyclable, as Nirajan said, the MLPs and the composite plastics. Out the plastic, the waste holds very low value. So the transportation cost, the collection cost, and again sending it to the recycling is more costlier than actual what it benefits. Looking into this gap, we were thinking to establish something around in Kathmandu area itself, which will be dedicated for the plastic. And through the support from the Please project, which we got through innovation grant in the Please project, we able to establish a dedicated plastic recovery facility in this project. Now, this plastic factory, I mean the recovery facility, till now the systems remains the manual. We upgraded it to as the mechanized sorting. It has increased the efficiency where few of the machines, which increase the sorting capacity of sorters, as well as it has the size sorting, size screening system. It has the magnetic separators. It has the conveyor belts. So that increased the overall efficiency of manual sorting. Last 5 years, 6 years, we work in the manual sorting, and the cost of sorting is extremely high as labor cost and the efficiency goes down. So whenever you try to make the cost benefit analysis, it always has a negative side of it. So yes, through the Please project, we are able to establish that, and our capacity again, we are having a 10 ton per day, the full capacity. And after this, we also got the contract from Kathmandu Municipal Corporation from the Teku transfer station. Now we are receiving a huge volume of plastics that has been left over. And fortunately, like we sent I guess Nirajan 2 or 3 truckload to Biocomp also from those plastics, and we are exploring more to those low value and non-recyclable fractions. Similarly, and so that was our innovation in this sector, because the mechanized sorting was the first time, I guess, introduced in our country, what we introduced over there. And secondly, we have also developed we have existing software which track the entire collection value chain of this whole plastic or the whole waste ecosystem. We also work with the informal waste worker. We have given training to the other waste management companies who comes to your house for the pickup, something like that. Those waste management companies, we have given them sorting training before they just only pick up the high value plastic items. After training, now they started picking up those low value plastics as well. So they have increased their earning as well. Yeah, and we have then advocacy activities as well included in this through project. We have invested almost double the what we received the grant from Please project just to complete the PRF so that it can start working and it should deliver what we promised. Yes, yeah, that's all. I mean, that's a short from Doko.
That's a lot actually. All through three of you have showed such remarkable interventions that really inspires. I think everybody who's watching the webinar, everybody who's worried and who's very concerned about this problem that we have about plastics. So thank you so much for sharing your insights. It was very insightful. Your insights were very insightful. It's encouraging to see how Please initiatives is not only addressing the immediate challenges, but also I think it's laying the groundwork for long-term systemic change, because what you are doing is paving a way for something new, something that has not been done before, and really creating that space. And you have also kind of like showed that when efforts are rooted into local action, they can really contribute meaningfully to overcoming this plastic crisis. So I really commend all of you, and I'm really inspired by what I've heard. But just I think last night I came up with this. I came upon this short reel, which was saying, like, it was from UNDP, and according to it, only 9% of plastics generated globally gets recycled, while 79% of it ends up in the landfills or in nature, and only 12%, and the 12% gets incinerated. So in the light of these staggering, figures, I know that what you are trying to do is also like shifting the needle and closing the gap. But I just feel like recycling is such a sector that has a huge potential to be both an environmental solution, but also a very viable business model. So from your perspective, what opportunities and enterprise potential do you see that the recycling sector is there in Nepal? And what are the major challenges, whether regulatory or market based, or even behavioral aspect, that hinders its growth, or even like hinders its jump start? So I think, like, we can start from Pankaj this time. So where do you see the potential, and where do you see the challenges or the blockages for the growth?
Yeah, Sanjeevani. So basically, the challenge remains the building up a whole ecosystem. Suppose if you the whole recycling system includes multiple stakeholders, like starting from collection and then to the destination after recycling, where your product can be sold out. So
Exactly.
suppose if you invest something in the collection value chain, but it's not being sorted, then you are in the break of that part. Suppose you do sorting and then don't have the recycling facilities set up for that particular grade of plastic, then there is a breakage. Now you have a recycling system for that particular grade, and if there is no buyer for your recycled granules, which should be competitive with the virgin granules and also competitive with your neighboring country's price, then again there is a barrier. And in lack of all these, like a complete system, now there plays an important role of policy and guide, I mean the supportive roles from the government, the incentive system from the governments. Like, just I would like to take example from some India, like they have the EPR now, where the collection is the most costlier if part of all this ecosystem to get the plastic into the recycling. So the EPR supports that gap, the funding gap. And for the recyclers, the end destination, they have the guidelines, they have the policy that any this product producing company have to use 30% of the recycled granules in their product. So now you already have a set market, you already have a funding gap completed, closed by the EPR. So that brings you a very good closed loop over there in India. Now they are doing very good job. But in our
Okay.
context, we don't have EPR policy. We don't have the destinations like
Mm.
the creation, or there are few industry for PET grades. We have few industry for HDP grades. Also, they are not making granules. They are directly converting into the pipes, black pipes. We have few industry for LDP. But when you go and look for industry for PVC grade, you won't find in Nepal. If you want to look for PP, which are the mixed form, generally we call it the very low grade plastics, you don't find any direct granule making industry because there is no market for it. Why
Mhm.
someone should invest it? And if someone is putting the money over there, then there is no safeguarding of those money to put in the market. I mean, just to set up an industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
whole
it's a
ecosystem has to be built up.
Yes, and the ecosystem is, if you talk about the diversity of the waste itself, it's so diverse that the three of you are doing for three things at the moment, actually.
Right.
And then, but the array of plastics that are coming out is so much also. So what do you think, like, adding to your own, you can carry on with the question in Niranjan ji or Sujata ji, you can also jump in and say your take on this question. But I was also wanting to learn more about, like, how do we tackle this diverse thing? Where should the producers also come in and join the responsibility? Like, so where do you think, like, this should go from here on?
Hmm.
Sujata ji, okay.
Okay. Sanjeevani ji, I think I would really want to go to the first question that you asked, like
Yes.
why there is like waste problem in a country like us and why there's no any effective guidelines, and the recycling percentage is also quite low in terms of Nepal. So when we see the geography of Nepal, so it's a very difficult geography. Per se, like in terms of the collection mechanism, we need to inject a lot of money. For instance, a mountain cleanup is going to take millions of dollars, right? If we need to completely clean up the mountain. So the geography and the topography of the Nepal makes it really difficult for the collection to happen. So if you see, like, even though the waste are being produced in bigger cities where the transportation facility is more, but the geography of other places, for the collection efficiency reduces it because of the geography. And also there is problem that a lot of different kinds of plastic comes to Nepal, because we import a lot of plastics from different countries, right? But as Pankaj also rightly mentioned, we do not have all the facilities required in to tackle all kinds of plastic waste. Per se, for the PET waste, now we are talking about, we're recycling about like green bottles per se. It was not done previously. Maybe it was getting illegally transported, or there might be many cases, right? And the recycling ecosystem in Nepal also lack the standardization in terms of what kind of machinery should we be using, and who are the end user of the recycled producers that eventually gets out of our factory, or let's say anybody's factory. So those are the problem that I see on a larger level, that is reducing the recycling capacity of Nepal. And of course, a lot of policy intervention can actually help us solve the issue. For instance, whenever we talk about the economy of scale, per se, that local government is given the responsibility to handle their waste themselves. For a place like Kathmandu, it would be easier. But if I take any municipality from Madhya province or Sudur Paschim province, the case is going to be they are going to have less waste, and if you put the infrastructure, the economy of scale is never going to be there, right? Because you can never make the money out of it. So I think the collaborative approach is must required. Per se, if three or four municipalities partner together and make one recovery center, and sell their waste from one place, that is going to make sense. Otherwise, if they just do the things in silos, it's never going to have the economy of scale, because it's also about like earning money at the end of the day. And another thing that Pankaj also mentioned about was the lack of EPR in Nepal. So EPR in a right term, what I can say is it's a full life cycle assessment, how the waste at the end of the day is getting, is being taken responsibility by the producers itself. So in India, as Pankaj also rightly mentioned, they have like good EPR. So the companies need to tell the country that how much waste they are producing and what are the intervention they are doing to reduce it. So the lack of such kind of policy makes the producers, we will not care any less if our waste is being generated, or it is being disposed in a very not so right manner. So that is the thing. And also for the recycled products that we are using, because there are small industries who are recycling in small fraction of waste. But is the recycled producers that we are using is up to the standard or not? Because I've found many cases the recycled plastic like PET also is being used for like food grade kind of thing. But are we allowed to use the recycled producers in any food grade kind of materials? So these are the
So
policy
plastic,
gaps.
altogether plastic in
Yeah,
general, for
yeah,
example.
yeah,
Yeah,
plastic that
yeah,
per se recipe
yeah.
recycling is also being used in like children's toys, but where are the regulation that is actually
The
tracking
standard setting,
it?
yes.
Yeah. So I think these are the problems that I see on the contrary, that is reducing the recycling rate, and also not Nepal not being able to get the economy of scale.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's
Yeah,
my
the economy of scale is very important if we are to see plastic as just as a waste problem or like a resource, like a resource.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of challenges. Starts with our geography, like you said.
Yeah.
It's a very small but a very big country. If we are to take account of all the hills, then the surface area itself will be so big. So it's a small country, but we, because of geography,
And also we
it's a
produce kind of like less waste that
yeah.
also gets difficult for us to earn more money. I mean, it's completely opposite of what we're trying to achieve, but economy of scale actually,
Okay,
you
okay. So
know.
I think it's a good problem to have. I think
Yeah,
less plastics,
yeah,
but yeah, less plastics to recycle. It's a
yeah,
good problem to have.
yeah.
Um, so definitely, let's go to Niranjan ji. What do you have to say on this?
Yeah, so the challenges are same as like previous speaker said. So one more challenges is like to make a recycling business sustainable, the cost of production should be low, and cost of production will be low only when the material is at when we buy the material at low rate and when the processing costs are low. And the one problem which we found is municipal waste tax. So if we bring material from Kathmandu to Simara, then like for one truck we have to pay 10 to 12,000 for waste tax, and that should be like paid at multiple municipality uh, in multiple municipality. But if we just want to dump, like we also dump few of our waste in Sistole for composting, so we just have to pay 500 rupees, 1,000 rupees. So the our government policy is prohibiting for recycling and promoting for dumping. So I think that should be addressed through central level, through municipal level, and they should understand that for recycling to happen, the cost of material should go down. So municipal tax can obviously help that cost to go down. The other thing, like Pankaj ji and Sujata ji said, EPR or plastic credit should be compulsory. So, like we also work with few industries and in Tarai, and there are like a very top FMCG companies in Tarai. So, like they are also like not ready to provide the material free of cost or in a low rate, just because there is no EPR system. So they are happy to contribute to CSR because there is a regulated percentage for CSR, but there is no requirement or policy for EPR, so they are not interested to work on that part. So if industries, big industries, are willing to start with on EPR or plastic credit policy also, then I think this recycling initiative will happen in a more rapid rate than current condition. And like in terms of opportunity, so I think like we produce enormous amount of plastic waste. Like there is a data that we produce around 800 to 1,000 tons of plastic per day. So that means if we can create a sustainable business model, then all those material can be turned into product, and we don't have to like we can substitute import. So like let's say there is hardly any pet fiber companies, the possibility for ESDP and LDP pellets is also high, because like in most of the furniture, recycled granules are being used in Nepal. And like for furniture also, so what we are doing, so that I think also can be replicated in national level also, and there is also huge opportunity. But but that can only happen if we like overcome the challenges which we discussed before through policy and through government intervention.
Okay. Thank you so much. A lot of food for thought there. We can come back to how we would like the policies to be in a little while. I'll just take on this question before moving on. It's come from one of the attendees. It's come anonymously. So, but this question is directed towards Doko, and so the attendee is asking what kind of equipments available in MRF for mechanized sorting of waste, and where is it located?
Yeah, so just to answer, like, so the machines are a trommel, it's called the size screening. We have a conveyor belts, we have a magnetic separator, we have a shredder, we have a baling machines. So this is a very small part of the whole
Yes.
uh,
You have
sorting
some
system.
pictures in your social media, right? Because
Right.
when you are saying that, you just are left to your imagination on what the conveyor belt is going to look like. So for this, for our attendee, please go to Doko's social media pages to get more of
Yeah.
the setup. Is that right, Pankaj?
Yes, yes. So you can see what are the setups. We already have multiple posts in LinkedIn and in Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
And our facility is located in Sallagari, Bhaktapur, this facility for the police project.
Yes. Okay. So before, like, I would like to spend a little bit more time on three of your factories, on three of your setups. Just shortly, Pankaj, can you describe how this is a circular? Even though we are recycling, and it should be so, it is a part of circular, but in itself, like producing thing, how is it circular, and it's also environment friendly and socially inclusive? Is there a particular plan that you have thought about for your setup? Would you like to share some of those?
Yeah, sure. So talking about the circularity in this, so we have started collection directly from municipal waste stream. Before we were only collecting from clients. So now the households waste that are being dumped, that was SISDOL, few parts, it is being collected through that. And and after this sorting line, we have almost like 15 to 20 grades of the plastic. Though the technically there is only 7 grades, it's mentioned 1 to 7 number. But when we look at on the scrapping system, like the whole scrap ecosystem, then it's more than 15 grades. Even the LDP is categorized into 5, 6 grade. SDP is categorized into 2, 3 grades. So we have that sorting range in our PRF, and each holds a different value. Each grades has a different value. Certain items has a high value and which immediately goes pass on to the recycling setup. Certain holds like an very low value, but still it's recyclable. Then we find out some who can recycle it, and if the things are completely not recyclable, then the partner like a Biocomp, or there are other partners also who are working in those non-recyclable fractions and converting it into different products like benches and beams and some pots, flower vase, and something like that. So we have partnered with those also for those non-recyclables and low value grades. So that's
Oh,
for
okay.
our circularity over there. And we are
Yes.
increasing volume day by day. We started with 2.5 tons. Now almost we are doing 7.3 tons. Though the capacity is 10 tons, but if we increase the shift, it can goes to 20 tons per day.
So mindfully, you are also trying to design products that are not, single use items, but like for long term you can use. And also you are, I hope, like all three of you are making aware that your customers, that further recycling or reuse must be done with the products and not leave them to the landfill site. Very nice, Pankaj ji. Thank you. Now I'll go to Sujata ji, and then Niranjan ji, you can jump in.
So Sanjeevani ji, whenever we talk about circularity, is like reusing or recycling the materials more than 1, 2, or 3 times. So you imagine a bottle. So that is the thing that we recycle at the moment. So there will be two types of bottle, as you can see. There might be like few of the brown bottles, but generally we have like either white or green bottles. So what we have is a pet washing line we have. So washing line is just to wash the bottles, because there will be a lot of contaminants in it that we need to do from, I think, 8 to 10 processes. There's going to be friction washer, high speed vibrator, and all sort of things that goes in there. Then it gets cut into like few small pieces, as I can also show you. So you can see this, right? Once the washing is done, it gets cut into like few small pieces. This is for the green ones that we do, and this is for the white ones. Then we have another machine called extrusions. So what the extrusion usually do is they melt the plastics and they convert it into granules. So this is the granules you can see. So from this granule, we can either make bottles or any of the thing that we, but non-food grade, because we have not got the food grade certification till now. So from these granules, we can make any different products, for example, to store harpix or like, phenyls, and even like the pet are used in like some other purposes also. So this is our product number one. This is flakes also is sent for like, we can sell these products as well. Then with the green flex, we can directly feed it to another strap line that is called strap line machine. Then we get the product number three. So we have three products for now that we like, sell to our customers, and they have been using it. And the bottles and the thing again can come back, and then again we can recycle it. And also for the strap part, if the strap is being used, so the strap is generally used to carry the tiles or any of the heavier materials. So if the person gives it back to us, we have a return policy also.
That's great.
We can again recycle the previous strap also. So that is how the whole circularity is working in our front.
Okay, very nice. And Niranjanji, from your end?
Yeah, so we mainly process packaging, single-use packaging plastic like MLP, noodles and biscuit wrapper, ELDP, EHM polythene bags. So those kind of segregated plastic are either bought from aggregators like Doko, or from industry, or from landfill side to our facility. And once the material is there, then we do a initial screening, and then we shred them, we dry them, and we wash and dry them. And after drying the material, then we mix all those kind of plastic, EHM, ELDP, MLP, PP, in a specific ratio. And we do cold press, we do hot press and cold press, and then we make 8 by 4 feet board. So the board thickness varies as per requirement. Currently, we are producing 8 mm, 12 mm, and 18 mm boards. So the board will look like this. So this is one type of board. So this is another type of board. So it is similar to plywood that is currently found in Nepali market, that is 8 feet by 4 feet size. So that board can be our board can be used to replace current plywood board, like instant in soldering, in construction work, in making furniture, in partition, in making exterior and interior walls, or anything what normal plywood can work for. And through this uh, innovation, so on one hand, like plastic also, plastic like MLP, LDP, PP is being recycled. On other hand, like a little dent we are doing for decreasing the afforestation, or cutting down of trees. So that is, and the other component we are doing for circularity is like, so once we sell this board in market, so if anyone is willing to sell us back, so after using it, so when it gets destroyed, then we also buy this back at a certain discount price. And if he or she wants to like take a new piece of board, then we can do the exchange. So that is also possible. So we are promoting this board through our brand name called Reclaim. So we initially thought that reclaim means like, when we sell this board, then we can again buy back it, then recycle it, then again sell the board back to market. So that is the concept behind the brand Reclaim. So
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
So how competitive is your board against a conventional plyboard?
So this kind of board we are currently selling at like 10% cheaper than certain plywood. that is
Oh,
currently found in Nepalese market. So it's a little bit competitive product for now, and we are trying to establish its new application, so where we can replace existing plywood.
plywood, and also in a way clean up our environment of all these plastics that do not have any other home, right? Like they do not get recycled. So I think it's a really ingenious idea. I love what all of the three of you are doing. I wish I was working in all of your three organizations for this project in particular. It's so wonderful. So what I just want, okay, another follow-up question for Sujata ji, because there's somebody asking about the pollution also. You said like the plastic is being melted. So during that process, each of your setup, does it have this environmental safeguards that it requires? What do you do? What are those specific environmental safeguards so that people can like use your products like freely and like, with a very light heart?
Mm. Okay, I was pretty sure that this question was going to come. Whenever we talk about plastic, microplastics never leaves us. So, Sanjeevani ji, like, while we were applying for this project, we were very much aware that whatever we are supposed to do needs to be environment friendly, and we cannot do recycling instead of recycling. So, what has happened is the machines that we have brought in are the highest quality machine that is out there in the world. So, in terms of the cycling and the extrusions part, everything is, well curated so that any kind of form of pollution does not go out. While I say melting of the plastic, we do not emit any air or like any kind of, what I can say, like airy thing into the environment, number one.
Gases.
And yeah, and in terms of, the plastics, we have the effluent treatment plant with us who actually, treats the microplastic if any of it goes outside. Otherwise, we have a very robust system that actually helps us to be very safe in terms of how we see and like how we treat the environment looking forward to. Yeah. So that's my answer.
Thank you. Very reassuring.
Yeah.
Anything from Nirajan ji's side, and then Pankaj ji?
Yeah, so I think this is also one of the questions we also receive at our end. So, like Sujita ji said, so we are also very much like focused on having environmental and social compliance for whatever we do. So, so our factory is a net zero factory, so we don't
Oh,
use any kind of coal waste boiler. So all the boiler are electric boiler. And the other thing is like we actually don't melt this product to make composite board. So the plastic is just softened at a very low temperature, so around 160 170 degrees, so that there is no emission produced from that process. And the other thing, like for washing line also, so the washed water will be directed into our effluent treatment tank, and then only discharged into says ETP. So the water also don't have like microplastic contamination because of a number of filters inbuilt in ETP and our like discharge line. The other thing is like all of our workers, so they use PPE during the process, so that also help them to safeguard from any noise or any dust pollution during the process. Yeah.
okay. Thank you, Nirajan ji. Let's go to Pankaj ji, and I'll also try to, hook you up with a following question from one of our attendees here. I think, Pankaj ji, it will be your favorite. It will be one of your favorite questions. How many times does a plastic can be recycled? Like the number that we see on the bottom of, like maybe you could elaborate that a bit, and then about your own recycled plastic, how many times you think it can be recycled? So
Yeah.
just combine the two questions and answer, please.
Yeah, so a plastic is also not an indefinite time recyclable. It can be recycled like 3 4 times a very good manner if it is homogeneous. Again, homogeneous means like it is still remains the same grade. But once you start recycling it, or once you start making products, every time some additives are being used in making the new products, like the color additives or some chemicals which strengthen the plastic durability or something like that. So every addition degrade its properties, the
Quality.
polymer properties, right? So you can hardly recycle 3 to 4 times, and after that it starts becoming the composite plastic. So it's not more a single grade plastic, it becomes a composite grade. And the end destination for those kinds of composite grade can be like a boards or some other product, but again that has also the end of life. It cannot
Mm-hmm.
be again indefinitely. The
Mm.
ultimate end destinations for these kinds of plastics becomes like burning it with co-processing it with coal in the cement factories, and using it as a fuel after certain recycling cycle. Like in the paper grade also you can recycle hardly up to 7 times, because every recycling breaks down the fiber, and if it is less fibrous then you cannot make it seed from the pulp. So maximum you can go up to 7 cycles. Similarly, glass can be recycled up to 1,000 times. That has their own properties. So
Yes,
yeah, so recyclability is not like indefinite properties of any
of
material.
course. Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
Regarding our safeguarding environmental side, we don't process as of the plastic, so because we only sort it through the machine, so we don't have the emissions or the melting or a microplastic generation by our process itself. But still, we follow all the guidelines that has been provided, and we have developed our own safeguard guidelines for preventing any additional environment trouble while we doing environment cleanup.
Yes. Thank you. We are rest assured that all three of you are doing something amazing. It's really supporting Nepal's movement towards becoming plastic free or managing our plastic waste. I think now it's time for us to go a little bit deeper into like this conversation that we had left earlier, which is on policy. But before going to policy, I just wanted to ask you, like, I've noticed that there's a strong element of awareness in all of your projects. So how do you perceive this awareness as how important how much importance do you give to this awareness part in trying to change the behavior? What do you think Nepali public at the moment and the policymakers alike have what is their awareness level like, and what policies should we have now? Like if we are to talk about the policies, how should we go on bringing these policies that we need in place, and what are there any substantive steps that you are doing intentionally to do this as a consortium, the three of the organizations? What is your take on this? So quickly, anyone can jump in. And there's also a question from an anonymous attendee wanting to know more about your engagement with Ministry of Forest and Environment and the Department of Environment. So while we are talking about this, you can also just touch upon your collaborations.
Maybe I'll go first then. So Sanjeevani, I think, yeah, as you rightly mentioned, awareness was, one of the very key output that all of the organization looked into. For me, I mean, school part and youth part, like if I'm going to explain, it's going to be the same thing that, most of the partners will definitely be doing. But one story that I would like to share with you is regarding a tribal community that stays near the Chitwan National Park. So, plastic has like really gone into our national parks and the rivers, and the livelihoods of these tribal communities were also being impacted. So, whenever we do such training in terms of plastic waste collection, or whenever we try to make them understand, but whenever there is a livelihood problem, they will not instill upon the fact that plastic is actually a problem for them. So what we did was like we created a livelihood mechanism. Before they used to catch fish, which they still do. Now, whenever you collect any of the bottles, you just keep it there. We'll come you and give you the money. So we have engaged more than 60 Maji community in Chitwan National Park. And what has happened in that community is there are like a lot of hotels also that are situated in those communities. So all the hotels also give them the plastic for them to sell. And now not even a single bottle is seen there. Whoever like just sees a bottle goes run and just keeps it in a safe place, and whenever we go our truck goes there, they sells it to us. So what we have realized is, in terms of the awareness activities we do, what is the problem actually they are facing, in terms of what are the intervention that we are trying to do in terms of school. When we try to talk about the plastic, then there was another problem of the junk food uses, which usually comes in a MLP or like a plastic packaging. So if we can correlate to that, then we got some like really good success stories in terms of that. And talking about the policy, I think EPR next, we need EPR in Nepal. It has to come, it needs to come. If EPR comes in, then I think the problem is going to solve in a very faster level, I think so. And also, as I also previously mentioned, standardization of plastic producers, we need it for the safety of our citizens also. And all the things that we do is very important. And third, I would say, is that it's not directly related to the policy but data inconsistency, I must say, because I think every other time we're creating and developing some research report on like waste
Yeah,
collection and
too
all
much,
the
too
numbers.
many,
Yeah,
too
all the
many, and
numbers
too spread out.
to spread
Not,
out.
yeah.
So yeah, so we need to have one, a solid waste management thing or portal out there that they are going to tell us that this is the
Consolidate
waste
everything.
generation. So
Mm.
if we can have that number, then for the entrepreneurs also to plan something on regarding waste management or something, they will have some data to look upon. Sometimes what happens is they say, okay, 60 tons of generation is going on, and if an entrepreneur comes as a like solid waste manager or something in the municipality level, then they realize that it's not even 30 tons. The data consistency needs to be there. And yeah, and last thing, the taxation on the plastic products needs to go. I think we are lobbying, I think Pankaj ji, and we are like lobbying in this for like since 2-3 years. So
Mm-hmm.
the taxation on the plastic transport needs to go. Otherwise, it's not going to be a very viable business, and a lot of people are going to suffer because of this. Yeah.
Yes. Um, Rightly put. Before, for people who do not understand this taxation, maybe Pankaji, when you are answering, you can also answer what she means, because I understand like the taxation even from one municipality to another, right? For transportation, which is quite ridiculous. But if you can explain this a little bit on the taxation part and your what she has touched upon about something about your movement with the government, if you can mention it a little bit.
Yeah, so I will not talk about the awareness into the general public. I will more focus to the awareness to the stakeholders who are right now more crucial things. Actually, everyone is aware about the problem. Problem statement is very clear, but the technicality of the problem statement is undermined, or actually they don't try to understand, or they don't understand. It might be the direct allegation if there are some government bodies over here, but yes, I would like to say that it's undermined things. It's not coming into the priority. Everyone talks about the waste, everyone talks about the plastic problem, plastic issue, plastic pollutions, but have any steps taken from the government end, a critical, a substantial, and tangible steps? No, I don't think a government has taken any steps. Like banning a 40 microplastics less than the 40 micron, right? But still, it's a plastic, right? Even now, you are producing 80 microns plastic. So one carry bag, suppose it weighs some gram, 80 gram. Previously, it was 40 gram. Now you are increasing the volume of the plastic, but plastic is still there,
Still
correct?
same.
It's still there. You are so you just try to solve an immediate forefront issue, say thinking that increasing the thickness of the plastic will solve the issue. What I am saying, the problem statement is known to everyone, but the technicality has been undermined over there. There are lots of examples. I can share you one example. Like in one municipality, they banned the single-use plastic carry bags, is LDP, and they promoted the PP non-woven bags. It looks like cloth if you have seen those bags.
Oh, it's horrible.
But still, they forget that it's also the plastic. It's just you are shifting from LDP to PP grade. It's a non-woven PP grade plastic. Now, there the lack of awareness, understanding the technical behind those all kinds of understanding the plastic. First, you should know the plastic, and that's the
Yes.
lacking. That's the lacking part over here.
Okay. And understanding also, like you said, because they're undermining the solution, or like working the technicality of it. It's probably not really like you understand, like on a surface level. Probably you've not
Yeah,
internalized it at a very, at a not to be sounding too fluffy, but at a spiritual level, like, at an
yeah,
individual human species level, we've probably not understood what's it doing it to our own health and the health of our ecosystem.
yeah.
Probably we know it's bad, but we don't know
Yeah,
exactly how it's bad,
exactly.
because we cannot see the nanoplastics with our own
Yeah.
eyes. And also,
So
please talk a little bit more, just explain that taxation, this ridiculous
yeah.
taxation
So
plan we have in
taxation part
place.
is something like that. There is a rule from federal ministry that the local government can charge tax on the products that is being developed in their own municipality. So like the herbs, so scrap also comes as their own product, but the definition has been ignored by all the federal level, and they think that the scrap tax, they charge scrap tax in every level, like on transportation. Whenever you change from one municipality to another municipality, your truck passes to another municipalities start taking tax on that truck. So like from here to Birganj, from Kathmandu to Birganj, you have to pay around 6 to 7 locations, and the rates are varying. Some
Hmm.
will charge 1 rupees kilogram, some will charge 2 rupees kilogram, some will charge lump sum 2000 rupees a truck. So there is completely inconsistency. Instead of incentivizing these recyclers, you are putting tax on that. As Nirajan rightly pointed out, you have just to pay 600 rupees to dump the plastic in the cistol side. But if you want to reuse it, you have to pay more than 10,000
More
rupees. That's our
pay
policy
more.
on the government side. Second, now that's the taxation part. Now you have to compete with the international market as well. Suppose you are producing the granules, recycled granules. Now to compete, to use your recycled granules in any of the product, like you are making plastic chair, to use the recycled granules in the plastic chair, it has to be cheaper than the virgin material.
Of course.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
if it is not cheaper, then why I should be using your recycled granules which don't have your product standards? We don't know the what quality of that product. And international market, the virgin granules, even the recycled granules are very cheaper because they have the incentivized policy. Governments provide incentive to in multiple steps, from collection, from recycling. You can claim lots of incentives, tax incentives. You have a lease land, 99 years free lease land. You have a electricity free. I don't want to explain all those, but there are lots of incentive for the recycling sector just to promote the circularity. In reverse context in our country, if you want to get a land for the recycling, you have to struggle like you are going to climb the Mount Everest. You cannot get the land. We face the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the tax system is like that. And
Yes.
again, once you make the product, then there is a excise duty. Sujata ji, please correct me if there is a excise duty in plastic granules or not, or something like that. So you have, again, after that also there might be the multiple taxes, the VAT and all those VAT and all those steps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very insightful.
Uh,
Because like we are
I, I
nearly.
I missed to
Yes.
answer your the involvement with the government.
Yes, yes.
So
I was about to give it to Nirajan ji, but you can also take it now
yeah,
that you
so
remember.
we are involving, we are in directors with Department of Environment, and we are also in the Ministry of Forest and Environment. 1 month back, we have given whole framework to of the EPR to the Department of Environment, and they were surprised that you already have everything in the plates. And I said, then what stops you? If we did all the work, and still we already did the work, then what stops you? You
Hmm.
just take our things, research. We did research on all these steps. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you can implement it, just go ahead, because there will be iteration. Not everything is perfect. Let's say how it will go,
Yes.
but we are in touch with Department of Environment, both Ministry of Forest and Environment.
Amazing. Thank you. The good work will always take time, and then this just proves the point. I'll now pass on to Nirajan ji, your take on the policy matter, and like your work there, your advocacy work there.
Yeah, so I think regarding awareness, so like Pankaj said, so like globally we are making a narrative like so plastic is a very bad material, so it's destroying our planet. So but the actual problem is like poor management of plastic. So we should understand that. So if let's suppose if we don't have plastic, we don't invent plastic in back in 1960s, then like we have an insane scale of global warming already, and our planet will like be in a very disastrous condition without plastic, because plastic helps to substitute material like metal, like trees, glass, paper, which are very like carbon intensive or has a high carbon footprint. So we need to first understand that.
Am I
And I'm not saying that we need to
and
promote plastic. So we all need to have minimal use of any kind of material or food or anything, and we need to have a minimal wastage of any material to have a minimal carbon footprint. So this narrative should like I think should be changed. Like from plastic is bad to poor plastic management
Management.
is a problem, and we need to solve that part. So like who like I saw like a fact that we consume one credit card equivalent of plastic a week. So
Yes.
that is a very wrong fact. I don't know. So who created what? When I look the citation, it is from WWF. So, but that is a very wrong analysis whoever has done. So that kind of narrative should not be said. And because of that narrative, so like Pankaj said, we tend to have alternative like plastic woven bag in municipality, which is very bad from recycling perspective. So that is one thing. And on the policy challenge, so so adding up on that, so I think so government should like EPR is already a huge issue, like this previous speaker said, waste tax, and along with that promotion of recycled material in like government tenders or any kind of project is also very important to have a substantial business for both recycling companies, and it also showcases that government has truly aligned for promoting recycled material. So there is like plastic road, so there is like construction debris which also can be used, and there are other various materials so which can be used in government project, and also in other sector also. And the other thing I think what policy level can do for like organization is, so for company, for any private company, we have to pay like 25% tax on an annual basis. So if there is a system like, so for recycling industry, so for 5 years they don't have to pay that 25% tax, and then like after 5 years to 10 years, so 50% tax. So if there is that kind of policy also, I think that is a better for promoting recycling sector. So that is already happened in sales. So if we establish our factory in sales, then we don't have to pay tax for first 5 year, and then for another 5 year we have to pay only 50% of tax. So that has already been implemented. So we need to identify not all the sector, few of the waste material, and for the recycling or for aggregation industry, we need to make policy to have that kind of tax intensive policies from government level. Yeah.
Thank you. Very insightful, very concrete. All three of you have answered very concretely. So I think moving forward also we can use this webinar as like, at least I will be doing so, like as a reference point on what could be the advocacy going forward on especially for policy I'm actually in a process in a process of making an alliance, which Sujata ji's creation is a part of, and we are trying to bring all the policy, like where are the possible um, policy gaps or policy discourses that we can hold, and probably all of you can join this discourse, and moving forward, like we can tackle one thing at a time, and plastic pollution should really take forefront at the present time. Also, like I feel like this project, Please projects, because it specifically also mentions rivers and seas. I wanted to know how, like one of you can answer how your project has been contributing to biodiversity conservation, because it's often overlooked in urban and community planning, and like share a few examples, like Sujata ji shared about the Maji community. I've worked with the Maji communities myself, and I'm so excited that they are being part of this project. So how biodiversity has benefited from your projects, and about especially if it's about restoring local ecosystems, working with indigenous knowledge. Is there something like that that you would like to share? I think we are also nearing. I think we are nearly at the end of our webinar. So if you can just quickly, because I work for wildlife conservation, so I have to mention this. Anyone, Nirajan ji or Sujata ji, Pankaj ji, anybody?
Yeah, so like our project focused mainly on Manora, Vishnumati, and Bagmati rivers in Kathmandu Valley. So we conducted 16 river cleanup campaign with around like 200 plus participate in each campaign. So with that 16 river cleanup campaign, so we recovered almost like around 145 tons of plastic. And also we aware like around 70,000 individuals residing nearby that river corridor, to aware them about like safe management of plastic, and like like promoting not to dump plastic into the rivers. And so when we like do the waste audit of the collected plastic, we mainly like saw that there are like single-use plastic, like bags and shoes, slippers, noodles, biscuit, gutka wrappers. So like that plastic are mainly found that. So again, so strict policy like currently Kathmandu municipality is also like conducting several river cleanup campaign in that area, and has a good strong policy. If anyone like throw waste on those river tributaries, then there is a fine. So if we become a little bit strict on that side to penalize whoever throws waste, I think that our rivers will be like more cleaner. But having said that, to have a proper clean river ecosystem, again it again comes to building like collection and recycling ecosystem. Then only if those plastic are recovered and recycled, then only it doesn't end up in our rivers or in landfill, and then only we can have a good ecosystem. And we all organization has like worked, contributed a small percentage to have at least a cleaner river on that
Yes.
sense.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Sujata ji.
Sanjeevani, I really wanted to add one thing when you mention about seas and rivers. So I think again coming back to the geography of Nepal, see we are a upward community, like upstream community, sorry. And then there are like countries like India and other countries that are on the downstream community. So whatever plastic or wrappers or anything that you see in our river eventually goes down to Bay of Bengal, so polluting the sea and impacting it on a regional level, right? So the duty of us being the upstream community is if we can, avoid the plastic going down to the seas. now the rivers are connected to all these national parks, all the biodiversity. It may be plant species also, and all sort of things are interlinked with the rivers, right? So what happens is, like, if we can, not let the plastic go into the rivers, so we are avoiding for it to get broken down into microplastic and impact the biodiversity up there in the rivers. And eventually, if the plastic even goes without like breaking down into the seas, then it will not impact the sea ecosystem in overall front. So also, one thing I would like to mention at last is like, so you've seen Mughling, right? So it is a very highly populated area. Lots of people come and throws the plastic away into the rivers, into Trishul River especially. So we have, formed a material recovery facility over there who collects all the sorts of plastic, and then we send it for recycling. So we've identified such hotspot and done like some massive awareness. So at least the plastic will be like, managed properly, and it's not like, in contact with any sort of biodiversity as such. I'll just shorten this answer because with the Magi, I've already told you. So
Yes,
the
I'm
context
so,
I-
yeah, it was such a heartwarming thought. Like they are now being part of this plastic collection and they're actually making money. So, which is also making me think that how all these projects can be self-sustaining post the project life. So,
Yes.
I'm really happy that this thing that can continue. Uh, or not, like I might be too presumptuous at the moment, but all three of you think like the centers themselves can function after the project as well, right?
Yes.
So like do mention that when you speak next. Pankaj ji, do you have something to add to this, to biodiversity, the larger biodiversity conservation, especially of the aquatic ecosystem, the birds? I see so many birds on our like dirty plastic filled rivers and streams, and I feel really sad. And now Nirajan ji has just mentioned that the rivers that are in their project is in Kathmandu. So I'm really feeling happy, and it sounds promising that we will probably restore our rivers in Kathmandu Valley also. Anything you wanna add, Pankaj ji, on this front?
Just to add on, like, since we have not directly worked for river cleaning campings, it was not the part of our project. But
Yes.
though with the address of this project means we are trying to preventing plastic, and which plastics are being left into the river are all those non-recyclable or the low value plastics, or which cannot be recycled. Even it is recyclable, it's a contaminated.
Yes.
So few percentage, we are happy that we are able to tackle few percentage of those kinds of plastics which would have been thrown into the river, or somehow it will have reached to the river. Even if it is thrown to the Bansari Dada or our landfill site, it will wash, ultimately it will wash to the rivers flowing nearby the Bansari Dada or this landfill site. I have seen that. So we are doing 5 tons, 6 tons a day. That volume at least has been out of the rivers, and which ultimately links to the sea. Uh,
Yes.
and if you have traveled to the Sistor landfill sites or some area there,
Yes.
yeah, so you might have seen like there are multiple rivers going through those streams, and you cannot find any biodiversity on that river ecosystem
Right.
due to leachate, due to these plastic pollutions, and due to
Oh,
other pollution. You
yes.
cannot find any biodiversity. You can
Mm.
find birds roaming around the landfill sites, picking up those dirty materials,
Yes.
and ultimately spreading the disease rather than
Yes.
making
Yes.
ecosystem. Yeah.
True.
So
Oh, just
directly or
recently.
indirectly, yeah,
Yes,
it's linked
definitely,
to that.
definitely. Everything we do adds to the larger goal of environmental conservation also. And just recently, last year, we usually like announce research grants, and one of our research grantees did a research on the diet of the river birds, for example, the birds who are based on rivers, who are dependent on rivers, and we found microplastics in their feces. So we could see that the birds are really being affected, and there are several microplastics that have been collected. And then I realized that we don't even have the technology to say which kind, like what could be the sources, what grade are the plastics from, this just we could identify that there's several kinds, but like what are they, and like we couldn't do it, so we are sending the samples to India. So I was also thinking how far, like how undermining like technology and things that needs to support this ecosystem, like Pankaji rightly said, is missing. And I think our job is to bring highlight on that, because what I see here, the three bold projects trying to clean our environment and bring plastics into recycling. um, Recycling of plastics we've been talking about for last 30 years, but now you've actually started doing it, and you now need the entire ecosystem to work for you. And I think now it's a time that anybody who watches this webinar from here on and who are doing it now, I think we should join hands and bring focus to making this ecosystem happen one way or the other. So after like all of your insights, it's been wonderful. After all your hearing about your experiences in the field, doing the actual work of engaging communities and also navigating these systems and driving change, I just wanted to um, like just ask you to imagine what does success look for you in a couple of years, or like let's say like 5 years from here on. Your project might have ended. What does success would look like for you, and how are you hopeful? Let's start with Pankaji. We have you on our big screen now here.
Yeah. So success means like it's just the first step, we'll say. It's not the end. It's the beginning of the story. And we are thriving for scaling up. Uh, like as Sujata ji rightly mentioned, to make it a plastic, to tackle the plastic pollution, it has to be the business case. And the business case comes with the scalability. So our success path, it's a beginning, and our success path leads to tackling those plastics which are being left over. We'll try to establish the recycling industry, a granulation industry for those kinds of plastics, and we'll push the government for the policy as well, because it has to go hand in hand to become. And for the business case, for the private entity or for any of the entity, it has to be motivated from different angles. If it's not going to make profit, then every time we have to look for the donor hands to keep on
Exactly.
sustaining, right? So yeah, so that's how I define the success, like the policy, the infrastructure definitely, and the awareness side of the people. These three will bring together, and a monitoring from the government side, a satellite overview from the government side, which incentivize, which motivate these peoples like us. Like there are lots of people will come on, lots of company will come up. Once government should say that yes, I am here for you, I think not only three, there will be 30 or 300 similar projects you can see around the country.
Yes,
And that will be the success.
yeah, very inspiring points. Not only we need government to monitor the compliance and act as the person, as the entity with the stick, but also with the carrots that that needs to motivate young people. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Pankaj ji. Let's move to Nirajan ji, and we'll go to Sujata ji.
Yeah, so I think it's same for us also. So if everything goes well, we also want to scale our current facility product line. So to like from like 2 to 3 ton for now to 10 ton to 35 ton in like next 3 to 4 year. So that is one part. Another part is like again, so government has also written document of like setting MRFs around the country. So we also want to be part supporting few local governments, few local municipality to set up MRF and operate for them to recover all kind of dry and organic waste. And so in a long vision, I think like uh, if there are like numerous amounts of companies setting good MRF with support from government, so that we don't have to like build very big landfill sites like on every like 30 to 40 years. So that is a long vision, but for us definitely like within like 3 to 5 years, we try to achieve like 700 like 7,000 to 8,000 tons of recycling plastic per year. So that is our
Great. I'll see you all down the road in 5 years, and we'll still be doing the same thing, but at a scale like Sujata ji said. I'll now move to Sujata ji.
I think moreover, like what Pankaj ji and like Nirajan just mentioned, I think the dream is to see like recycling being, accepted by our government in a very incentivizing level so that it can be bankable and profitable for all of us who are, working day and night in this sector. And the
Yes.
next thing would be, number of like good factories that are ensuring environmental safeguarding in each of the provinces. I think as an environmentalist by my heart, environment safeguarding factories, I would love to see in all the 7 provinces. And also for us in our front, we love to, expand our verticals and other types of plastic waste as well. I think we've cracked PET for now. So if we can like do into like other, exemplary factories, which can generate profit, and eventually we really want to, share the profit with the informal waste workers that are working in the environment for the, collection of the waste. We have really like high plans for like sharing the profit with them as well. So hopefully if everything goes well, I think in next 5 years we'll be the most happiest. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to see you all successful, very, very happy, and winning lots of awards and programs and grants and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think now with this, I think we've kind of really come to the end. Let me check. Yes, 4 minutes to go. I just wanted, like, when I first heard of Please, I thought it was rather gentle, like a spiritual calling for me, please, standing for please, plastic-free rivers and seas for South Asia. I just felt like it was a gentle request, a plea, but urgent one, to say
Yeah.
like maybe we have to take time to take like this pause to reflect and take responsibility. Like, let's please pause, let's please reflect, and let's please take responsibility of what we have done, what we have created. And I feel like it's more than an acronym, and it's just like reminding us what is important. And I felt like it was a very intentional, like all three of you doing these bold ideas at local level was really, it's really heartwarming. And it's also I feel like it's also trying to say, like, let's please do this because enough is enough. So I'm like really happy to be part of this conversation today, and I hope that I'll be able to contribute in some of your work if you allow. And then if things go well, then we should meet and do more things like this. And I feel like, today's conversation also is reminding us that real change will only happen when there is innovation. Uh, when there is innovation and there is purpose. So we have purposefully kind of like married innovation and tried to bring local action forward with a global vision, because I feel like this is also setting up Nepal to be like an example for the rest of the South Asia also. And I think like all three of your projects can really do that. And I feel like so inspired leaving here. I'm really inspired. Let's keep the momentum going. Parting thoughts, anyone, for our young innovators, startup, like there could be some startup people who are thinking of a startup, innovators, or anybody young watching this, because there was a gentleman from Pakistan, and he was also saying like, yes, I can see, and Pankaj ji has replied to his query where he can find all this advice or recommendation readings. I also would like to urge all of you to maybe consolidate your own findings, and then put it out so that your achievements and your findings find the light of day, unlike many other reports. So parting thoughts, trailblazers, Sujata ji, parting thoughts for young entrepreneurs.
If I talk in terms of the project, I think we have done something really impossible in like an even span of 10 months. We found the land, we constructed the whole factory, we got the, machine from, not, which is not from our country. So, everything is possible. So, even if you want to work in circular economy recycling, though we have told you all the gaps that are there, but you're most welcome to come and like bring in some new innovation, because we really need it. We need more and more collaborators. So if there's any information that you need, please reach out to me, and to all of us who are here. So just like keep on working in this like good field, and there is opportunity, and we need to make this happen for sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Great message from Sujata ji. Nirajan ji.
Yeah. So firstly, I like to thank you and Sakib and Please Project because like in Nepal, I think there is hardly any project uh, who has invested this much amount of
Yes.
money like to build factory and everything, because it's always like softcore activities here and there. So thank you very much, Sakib. So I hope Sakib will bring more project like this to support young entrepreneurs. Mm. And to young entrepreneur, I think like Sujata ji said, so if you want to start anything and if you need any support, then we are always welcome to support you on that part. Yeah, thank you.
Pankaj ji.
Yeah, so just for the entrepreneurs, like just don't jump into this sector until and unless you know the depth of this sector. Just because everyone is doing and everyone is talking about the plastic pollution, don't think it's so that's easy. It's a marathon race. It's not a 100-meter race. So
No,
if you have a
not at all.
so if you have a patience to face all these depth of ups and downs, then only jump into this sector. As for as an entrepreneur, so what I will say, I'm not discouraging everyone, I'm not discouraging anyone, but that's the truth. It's not a 100-meter race. You have to be patient. The things move very slowly, but yes, the impacts are very visible impacts, and you will feel happy yourself whenever you see things are changing and you are working for sustainability. You are working for the next generation. Actually, you are not working for your generation, something you are living for the next generation.
That's true. Thank you. Rightly said, Pankaj ji, because I remember in 2017 when I met you, I thought you guys were like so young and like, dynamic. And I myself probably was young. Probably, of course, I was younger. But then the days go by, years go by, you're still doing the same thing. The gratification is there, but like you said, not at all a 100-meter race. It's not for the faint-hearted. But I also feel like more sometimes the young entrepreneurs, or when they start, when they make like they decide to do a startup, they feel like, oh, money will come, seed fund will come. But I always tell them that we are also incubating 60 small enterprise in one of our projects that's from Roots of Circularity, funded by you. So what's happening there is like I meet a lot of young people, entrepreneurs wanting to be entrepreneurs, and I feel like tell them sometimes you have to put some money, like where what in what you are doing, because they come with an idea and they want somebody else to support this. And with this idea and this philosophy, you will not be an entrepreneur. It's a very lonely journey, right? I'm sure like we are so happy to be in a place like this, because we are all working also in silos.
Exactly.
You are working in your own corner doing your hard work. Sujata ji is doing the same, and Nirajan ji is also doing the same with Biocomp. And this is a very lonely journey, and it's very nice that once in a while you get a grant like this. Like Nirajan ji said, Sakib has rightly put money where it's supposed to go to. So I saw Nirajan ji's hand. I don't know if I can continue more, but just Nirajan ji, if you have anything to say.
No.
No?
Thank
Okay, we are all happy. There should be more of us, definitely.
Yes.
The marathon runners, and we will meet you on the track. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It was a delightful conversation. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this conversation. Thank you, Sakib. Thank you, Please Project. Thank you, Prakriti. Everybody, Menaka ji, everyone who put this webinar together. Bye, everyone. This is, I think.
Bye.
I think we are
Yeah, have a
way
great
more.
weekend.
Yes, bye.
Great day.